Welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to talk about something maybe a little bit controversial. We're going to talk about prosperity gospel, mammon, the heck is that, mindset, and business opportunities. Ironically, they are all kind of interrelated. They can all be covered under one topic, and we're going to go over that a little bit today. So there is definitely in the Christian faith and Christian space an element of prosperity gospel that gets preached. And I liken this to the notion that because you are a Christian, God's going to prosper you no matter what. And I would tend to be of the mind that that is a false doctrine. For example, I have a mother who's a Christian who we could say is poor. I mean, she lives on Social Security. But I also have a cousin-in-law who's a Christian who is, we could say, is rich, who runs multiple businesses and does very well. So they're both Christians, and they are both on completely opposite ends of the financial spectrum. So I would say that that is observably not true of a statement just because you're a Christian. I think it's more about what you do and how you apply principles that can determine that. And I'm going to go over a few verses, and then I'm going to show how this translates into real time, at least from my perspective. So, prosperity gospel, there's my thoughts on that. I don't believe that's true. Do I think that God wants you to prosper? Of course. Now, God does say that He is able, in 2 Corinthians 9:8, God is able to make grace abound in every good work. There's a couple of operative words there. He's able to. And good work. Okay, so you're able to abound in good work. It has to be good work. It can't be mammon, which we'll cover in a second. So so on the topic of mammon, there is Judges, in the book of Judges 17 and 18, we have Micah who steals the shekels from his own mom. And then, of course, which is foolish, and then puts a curse on the person who stole the mammon like it wasn't him, but then later confesses to that it was him. And then, of course, dreads the curse that he made. So this is a classic case of mammon. Mammon isn't just money. Mammon is greed. It is getting money at the expense of others, not in the service of others. Okay, I think that is a very clear explanation of it. I think another illustration of mammon would be that you are placing money or higher importance on money than you are on your faith or your spiritual journey or other people for that matter. There's a common post I've seen on social media that says, wouldn't it be great if people would use money and love people rather than love money and use people? And I think that could sum it up pretty good. If we go to the book of Matthew, you can see Matthew 6:24. It does say you cannot serve God and mammon. But again, I believe that the illustration of mammon isn't simply money. It's money acquired not through good work. It's money that is greed. It's at the expense of other people. It's a scam. It's stealing like Micah did from his mother. And then we go down to Proverbs, and I have a whole list of these that I could go through, but Proverbs 10:4, lazy hands make for poverty. Diligence brings wealth. So it's clearly telling us that these are actions, right? That's an action. If your actions are lazy, you can still be a Christian and be lazy. You're going to be a poor Christian, okay? You can be a Christian and be diligent. Well, diligent certainly sounds like a noble characteristic, right? To do good work. You can experience wealth. So I think if the wealth comes in the operative function of greed, well, it's not very diligent, then now is it? So then we de facto back to mammon. So a lot of people make no mistake, I think, thinking that mammon is just money. But what is money exactly? Money is a tool that you use. Money is technically actually currency. And currency is time, its relationships, and its skills. And you can create more of that through leverage. Okay? So applying leverage does not in any way, presuming it's done ethically, does not create a mammon situation. So let me read a couple for you real quick. A couple other ones that I had grabbed here that I didn't have room to put on here. But so these would also all come from Proverbs, and they all pertain to things that would cause you to be poor, cause poverty. So dishonesty and greed, foolishness and rejecting wisdom, oppression and injustice, and lack of generosity. So those are very specific triggers that would cause you to be in poverty. So those are actions that you are either doing or not doing. And then the opposite, if you have wisdom, if you have self-discipline, and you sow and reap, then you can expect to be prosperous if you're carrying out those actions. If you do or don't do those, doesn't make you not a Christian, but it is going to change the expected outcome you get. So I want to give you some other illustrations here. So when we are trying to create more of that currency, we need a business, we need a vehicle for that. And I say all of this effectively happened with these three things here: your mindset, your message, and your movement. Mindset is simply your attitude, your beliefs, your grit. Basically mindset is like a don't quit kind of thing, having determination. Messaging is your marketing and your communication, your ability to communicate. And then the movement is the opportunity. A lot of people fail in business because they think that the opportunity is the only thing that matters. Well, I'm in this opportunity. I found this opportunity. And then they don't apply these other things to it. It doesn't work. And they think it was a bad opportunity. So rather than the opportunity not working for them, in all reality, they fail to work the opportunity. Now, are there opportunities that are better than others? Well, yes, of course there are. But that is a concept that I think holds true over and over again. Sure, trying to sell ice to Eskimos is a bad idea. It's just not going to work, okay? There's not a need for it. So these are things that obviously you would want to look at. I've talked before about multi-level marketing. Can you succeed in it? Yes, I know people who have succeeded in multi-level marketing. I personally have not. So it wasn't a good opportunity for me. And that was after applying messaging and mindset to that opportunity. So that's how I was able to disqualify that. But it's good enough to say, it's sufficient to say that for the most part, it's not so much the opportunity. You can evaluate whether an opportunity is going to be a good one or not based on whether there's a significant demand for it. And you personally have some level of enjoyment with what that service or opportunity is. And then, of course, this also can have that leverage applied to it. Let me talk a little bit about applying that to a business opportunity, applying the concept of leverage as well as opportunity to something of that nature. So, for example, if you were, I'm just going to use the notary space, since that's where I do make a lot of money. I operate in that space. I'm going to use an example of, say, N1. N1 will be notary number one. And notary number one, his offer, his opportunity, and his service is simply just, he has an office where he has his notary stamp, and you can come by his office and he'll charge you for that. Now, his only messaging relating to that is the fact that it's brick and mortar. So somebody has to see his brick and mortar business, come to his brick and mortar business, and then do an exchange. So he only has one offer and one message, and that, of course, is going to create limited opportunity for him de facto. So then we could have N2, just for example, and N2 may have, he may have his notary, and he may also have, he may be mobile. And so he has a couple of offers. He has more offers that he's able to take advantage of. And so he has a price variance where this one would just say would be like a $10 deal. And this one you could have a $10 deal, a $100 deal. So there's more offers. Thereby there's actually more opportunity. And then you could expand on that even more. We could have N3, who say has, he has his mobile notary, right? And then maybe he's also like a process server. And maybe he also does like taxes or anything else like that, any kind of document type services. So now we have multiple offers under that same service. And so we have multiple opportunities, so to say. And then if we went to messaging, instead of just brick and mortar, if they were doing, say, some online advertising, online messaging, online communication, as well as local, as well as, like we said, relationships are currency. Have lots of relationships, that a lot of networking, know a lot of people, are diligent in their work, then this becomes, of course, a lot more lucrative of a deal. And the fact that if you don't do that and you do this, doesn't make that a bad opportunity. It just means that you weren't taking full advantage of it. Okay, so there's really nobody to blame but yourself. The same would come with in the mindset you quit. I know a lot of people that started businesses, and at the first roadblock, the first thing, it blew them right out. They were done. And it doesn't matter what I know notaries that have quit. They tried to network with a couple of companies and got told no, and then it just blew them out. They couldn't accept the rejection. So that was a mindset issue, not an opportunity issue. Okay, a lot of them tend to think that, well, this space is saturated. There's too much competition, but there's really not. You have a limiting belief that is keeping you from making the most of that opportunity. And the same can be said about insurance, right? There's a lot of insurance agents out there, but you can offer several levels of insurance and several ways to market that insurance, and then you can, of course, thrive in that space. So that is it for today. I hope this information was useful. By all means, comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.